Brian Kay from the Advisor Accelerator and the Unconventional Advisor. And in this episode, we're going to talk about, are your prospects that you're meeting with committed, or are they just curious? Because this can mean the difference between you having one call appointment closes, for lack of a better term, and meeting with people who need to think it over, schedule two, three, four, five appointments, and then losing it, having them ghost you, having them work with their brother-in-law, having them tell you that, like, get back to me at the end of the year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So, what's the difference between committed and curious? A curious person is in the early stages of looking into something, right? They may be doing, some Google searching on it. Maybe they're thinking about a change. Maybe they're frustrated about something or with a particular vendor or relationship or supplier, but they haven't had a trigger event. They haven't had something that's taken it from curiosity and interest to I am 100% committed to fixing this now. And the reason they become committed to fixing it now is because a trigger event occurs that puts them into present pain. And a present pain that's magnified enough where they don't have the ability to think it over, to visit 50 different people, to ponder, to schedule 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 appointments. They need to fix the issue now. They recognize that it's costing them either their health or a lot of money or causing them a lot of headaches, and they want to fix it. So how do we figure that out? How do we not waste time with people who are curious and that are gonna, tire kick, waste our time, stall, etc. And how do we spend our valuable time and energy with the people who are ready to do something and make a decision about something now? So the easiest way that we've discovered to do that over the last 25 years is it starts with an educational process. That may be a webinar or a virtual event, that may be a workshop, or some opportunity, again, if it's not a referral, if we're trying to do this at some level of volume, where we can invite the right target audience of people that we want to appeal to an event to address a very specific issue. Like in the case of the example that I often use, we're working with parents of late stage college bound high school students, right? So we're inviting them to an event on how to pay wholesale for your child's dream college, right? How to pay for college without ruining your retirement. So we're targeting a very specific group of people. We're inviting them to an event to discuss a present pain or current problem that they're facing right now. But we don't stop there because there's still going to be people in that room. Maybe they're do-it-yourselfers. Maybe they don't value outside consultants. Maybe they think it's much better to just do everything yourself. Maybe I just want to gather data, and that's fine. There's no judgment whatsoever. But we structure our system as a filtering process. So, step one, find the right audience. Make sure that you find an audience with a present pain. Make sure that you have a solution to that present problem, and do some type of a virtual and or live event if we're not in an environment where you're not allowed to do a live event, and invite them that's hand raiser number one. That's your first opportunity for someone to say, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm qualified to take the next step. So they show up to a virtual webinar, they show up to your event, and then you have an opportunity to talk to them exactly about their problem. Not about you, but about them. What is the issue they're facing? Why are the costs of college so high? What is their plan for handling this? Here's what most people end up doing in this situation. Here's how the problem, or here's how the situation normally unfolds. And then what you want to prove to them during that initial, whether it be a workshop, a webinar, or whatever, is you want to prove to them that you have something that's new, that's different than everything else out there, and that you have a unique process or method that has been proven over a period of time to solve this particular problem, right? So that communicates to this group of people that, hey, number one, I have a problem. These people solve this problem, but they're not sounding like every other person that's ever talked to me about it. Like I've heard from a bunch of different people. This is the first time I've heard of a person or a company that has a specific process for helping people, first and foremost, send their children to college, but make sure that they do that without derailing their lifestyle and without like basically draining their financial nest egg, right? And they have a three-step approach for doing that. And basically it is different than anything else I've heard, and I don't have a solution to this problem. And the cost of this problem, if done wrong, could be in the range of hundreds of thousands all the way up to $1 million+ if I have 3 children plus that are college bound going to private universities. So that's level one, right? Level two is at the end of your presentation, once you've made sure that it's clear that you're talking to the right audience, you solved their problem, you have a unique process, you've communicated your unique process or plan, and they believe it, then the next step is this isn't for everyone. Here's the people this is for, and here's who this is not for, right? If this is for you, we have the next step, which is an application, which will tell me a little bit more about you and your personal situation and your family and where your child wants to go to school. And we'd be happy to review that. And if we think that we're a good fit, we'll schedule a time for a virtual consultation or a virtual Zoom call. And we'll sit down and we'll put together a strategy for helping you put together a plan for paying for college, right? However, if you are not this person, if you don't have a child that's going to an expensive private school, if you don't feel that you have the need to, look into outside sources, if you feel you can do this yourself, if they plan to go to a local community college, if they're going to get a full ride through a scholarship, athletic or academic, maybe you don't need the help, right? But if you are someone that makes anywhere between $150,000 a year all the way up to $1 million a year, you have 2 or more children that are college bound, your child's planning on going to a school that's in excess of $30,000 a year, and there's a possibility that they're not 100% sure what the exact college they should go to is and what major, which I don't know, at 17 or 16, I had no idea. Then this probably is the thing for you, because what most parents don't understand is it often takes 5 to 6 years, 5.8 years to be exact, for a child to graduate. Why? Because they picked the wrong school and they picked the wrong major and they end up transferring. And that transfer decision ends up adding 2 years to the tuition and cost of attendance and fees and room and board and everything else, which at a $30,000 to $80,000 a year school is another $60,000 to $160,000 per child, which none of you want to deal with. And by the way, I have personally experienced that situation and it's no fun. So basically, this is what you want to communicate. And then once the person says, yes, that's me, and yes, I'm qualified, and yes, I have a problem that I need to solve right now, I can't put it off anymore, right? I will fill out your application. And then they fill out that application. And then the next step is then you sit with them face to face. And then you kind of walk through that application. And again, the qualifications, if you don't like the application, you can do a follow-up phone call and say, hey, there's a couple of things on the app I wasn't 100% sure about. Do you mind answering a couple of questions before we meet in the Zoom format? And then you have a chance to ask whatever questions you have. Like, it looks like your child's planning on going to community college. It looks like your child has a C- average. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? In the case of our advisor accelerator program and what we do with advisors, there's a couple of things that we look for with our advisors. Number one is the person already having a relative level of success. Are they already making between 5 and 10,000 or more in their practice? Do they spend a little bit of money on marketing each month? Are they accustomed to doing workshops or virtual events or buying leads or doing any type of lead gen, right? Do they want to double their practice, and do they have a motivation for doing so, right? So is there a younger child coming into the practice? Are they looking to add advisors? Do they need a more consistent lead flow? Like, what is the reason why that they need a consistent, predictable, repeatable system for bringing people in, regardless of COVID, regardless of the economic environment, regardless of what the market's doing? What's their reason why? And once we understand that, and once we see, okay, this is the avatar, this is the person who is making the right amount of income to have the ability to invest a little bit. They're used to doing marketing. They're open and coachable. They're willing to put in like 5 to 10 hours a week to learn something new. And their motivation is they want to double their income in the next 6 months or less, or they want to have a consistent lead program for another advisor or whatever. Great fit, right? And that's a person that we want to sit down and have a conversation with. And those are people who typically enroll. So just to come full circle, are your prospects curious or are they committed? And the way that we kind of stack the cards in your favor is we try to get in front of starving markets. We try to make sure that we have the right target market with the right problem that we can address immediately. And we started out with some type of an educational event, webinar, or workshop. We educate, but also like express what the pain and what our system is, how it's different, how it's new, how we approach solving the problem. And then we tell them who it's for, who it's not for, and then we have them fill out an application. And then if we don't love the application, we don't think they have the budget, we don't think that they're like trying to fix their problem now, like it's some like distant time that they're going to deal with in the future, meaning they're curious, or whatever other issue we have, we address that before we sit face to face. So when we are sitting with a person, our closing ratio is 30 to 50% or more. And it's typically a one appointment enrollment. It's not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 appointments. It's not stalls. It's not think it overs. It's not a low ticket transaction that we get, hundreds of, but you have to burn yourself out and work 60 to 80 hours a week. So to summarize, that's one of the biggest secrets for getting your closing ratio up, getting your happiness up, working fewer hours, making more income. Make sure that you're dealing with committed prospects before you sit face to face and use your valuable time. I will end it there. This is Brian Kay, the Unconventional Advisor, co-founder of the Advisor Accelerator. If you liked what you heard, please give me a like. If there's anyone that you could share it with that would benefit from this, would totally appreciate the share. And if you've got any comments, particularly anything nice to say, I always love to hear your feedback, so please comment below. If you'd like more information about our program before year end, we're putting together a group of successful financial advisors who are 100% committed to adding 2 to 3 new college planning clients to their practice worth $3,000 to $10,000 each before year end. Go ahead and go to www.starvingmarketspecialist.com. Again, www.starvingmarketspecialist.com. And go ahead and register for the masterclass. It's 60 minutes. It'll educate you on the entire thing. It'll let you know who it's for, who it's not for, and if this is for you, it'll tell you our unique process, our 3-step process. And if it is for you, please go ahead and book an appointment, and we'll be happy to discuss your personal situation. If you'd like to discuss this by text, you can text me at 248-453-6360. Yes, I will answer personally. That is my personal text. And, if you'd like more details on our program or anything else, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. That's it for today. Have a wonderful week, and I will look forward to talking to you soon.